Okay, class, good morning and welcome back to Math 10, Gump 10. Today we're going to do Lesson 4. Last week we did some review on working with converting fractions, and we introduced you or reviewed again proportional statements. So I'm just going to go over proportional statements again, and we're going to apply them to word problems. So the learning target for today is to solve word problems using proportional statements and ratios. So just looking at a proportional statement again, it means there's something equal between two ratios. So if I have a fraction, a ratio, 2 to 3, we can express it as a fraction 2/3. And if we have a proportional statement, means there's something equal. This is the equal sign. And we have an unknown, x over 6. We need to solve for this unknown. So in order to do that, we can use a process called cross multiplication. So we would write 3 times x, 3x, equal to, and then use the other side, 2 times 6, and then solve it. Since we only want to find one x, we have to divide both sides by 3. That gives us an answer of x equals 4. So anything that's given as a ratio, for instance 20 to 50, you'll see that it's usually expressed with this colon. We can write that as a fraction. Always check your fractions to see if you can simplify it first. Please take that out. Okay, that's the second time I'm going to ask. 2 over 5. Reduce it by dividing both by 10. So here's an example of a word problem that we can write it as a proportional ratio. 2-stroke engines like lawnmowers, they need to have oil mixed with it. And generally an engine like a lawnmower or a small boat motor, they'll tell you what the mixture of oil to gas is. So in this case here, we have to mix 40 parts of gas to 1 part of oil. We have a fuel can, one of those red cans. It can hold 8 liters of gas. How much oil do you put in it? Well, we need to calculate the ratio. What is the proportion that we need to put into that fuel can? So the first thing we need to do is identify what we know and what we have to find. Well, we know that we have a ratio of 40 parts gas to 1 part of oil. And we know we have 8 liters of gas. What we need to find out is how much oil. So identify what's given, identify what's asked. So we write the ratio 40 to 1. Make sure you understand which is the 40. 40 is the amount of gas to 1 part of oil. And like I said, you can write that ratio as a fraction, 40 to 1. Amount of gas is 8 liters. Now we can write our proportional statement. Since we're trying to find out the amount of oil, we give it the designation x. So to solve it, write the proportional statement. 40 over 1, gas to oil, is equal to 8, remember it's 8 liters of gas to whatever amount we need of oil. Now we have a proportional statement. So to solve it, we multiply 40 by x, by cross multiplying it. And we multiply 1 times 8, which is 8. So we have 40x equal to 8. We need to find out what just one x is. So like all proportional statements, we need to get rid of that number in front of the x. So we have to divide by 40. 40 here. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I have to divide the 8 by 40 as well. So the 40s cancel out. So it equals 8 over 40. We can reduce that to 1 over 5. But if you put it in a calculator, you'll get a decimal fraction 0.2. So that's the amount of oil that you'll add into your engine. If you have 40 liters of gas, you'll need 0.2 liters of oil. Anytime you have a word problem, you need to answer it in a sentence. Okay? When you have just numbers, it's okay just to write the answer as a number. But if you have a question that's a problem, you need to write the sentence. So in this case here, it asks us how much oil. We would answer 0.2 liters of oil is needed for 8 liters of gas. And don't forget, we need to use that unit, L meaning liters. You can write it out as liters or use L. If it was gallons, you write gallons. If it was pints, you write pints. Okay? Here's another example. The builder found that he can make these works cubicles in an office, rather than putting walls up, they can put these little panels. And if the ratio between the length and the width, so the length of the cubicle and the width, there's a ratio of 3 to 2. 3 to 2. We're going to make this little cubicle. If the room is 6 meters long, how wide should the room be? Well, again, we have a ratio, 3 to 1. It tells us that we can now change that to a fraction. Remember, the 3, they tell us, is the length, and the 2 is the width. If the room is 6 meters long, so now I write my proportional statement. Since length is on the top, I put my length 6 meters on the top, and I don't know the width, I put it on the bottom. Now we have a proportional statement, and I can solve it by cross multiplying. So we draw the diagram to show what we have. We have 6 meter length, we don't know what the width is. Write the proportional statement. 3 over 2 is 3 over 2 in a fraction. Length over width. Write the proportional statement. 3 over 2 equals 6 meters over x, because that's what they tell us the real length is. That's like a scale here. Third, we solve it by cross multiplying it. So we have 3 times x, which is 3x, and 2 times 6, which is 12. And solving for x, we get 4. So that means that the width of the room is 4 meters. Again, don't forget the units, M meaning meters. And last example, if salmon costs $1.89 for 100 grams, how much will it cost to buy 250 grams of salmon? Okay, so we can write that again as a ratio. $1.89 for 100 grams. So the ratio is $1.89 to 100 grams. Okay, how much will it cost? We want to know how much it's going to cost, so that means we don't know what the dollar value is, but for 250 grams. Again, cross multiply it, so that means 100 times x is going to equal 189 times 250. I don't know what that is right now, so I'll use the calculator. $472.50. Let's do that again. 1.89 times 472.50. But we want to know what x will equal, so we have to divide both sides by 100. 100 divided by 100 is 1, so x will equal $4.72.50. We know we don't go into quarter cents. In fact, we don't even do cents anymore. They round up to the nearest 5. But in this case here, we'll round to the nearest penny. We go to, since 5 is the third one, we're going to round this up to 3. So 250 grams of salmon will cost $4.72. So that's it for examples. I'm going to give you these word problems. I'll hand them out to the people in the class, and the ones at home I'll email them to you.